Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Emily and I make interior design, renovation, and DIY content every single week, so if you are not yet subscribed, make sure to do so you don't miss any new videos. If you are not already aware, I have been putting hints all over my social media, but I'm in the process of buying a house and I wanted to make some really fun decor pieces for my place before I move. And if you can't already tell, I think I have achieved making some pretty unique pieces. Today's video is sponsored by Cricut, and you guys know how much I love Cricut. I've been working with them for a while and I'm really excited to show you in-depth tutorials today for how I made these different items. Cricut is a smart cutting machine that allows you to create personalized projects with hundreds of materials. It works with software called Design Space that comes free with your machine. This is where you can create your project and browse from hundreds of images and fonts. Once you've created your design, Design Space will send it to your machine to cut. The Cricut that I'll be using today is the Explorer 3, and obviously I love it. It makes my life so much easier. If I wanted to make all of these same projects today, it would take more than double the amount of time and not be nearly as good in the end, so I love it. The Explorer 3 has the ability to cut and write, and it can cut so many different materials, over 100, and I have a lot of different favorite ones. I'll put them on the screen, but the ones that I use the most are vinyls and iron-ons. So what I love the most about the Explorer 3 is that it has like this roll feature where I can put materials in that are smart without a little mat for them, and that way I can cut materials that are very, very long, which is like perfect because I do home decor pieces and I want them to be big. So without further ado, let's get into the projects that I'm going to be making today. The first project that I'll be making are these labels for these canisters for food in your pantry, and I live in a small apartment currently. I'm moving into a place that I'm going to build a pantry in, and I really want it to be super organized. I want it to look really luxurious. I've never had like a big kitchen in my life, so this is something that I care a lot about, and I wanted them to be organized, but I still wanted the labels to feel really unique. So I think that I achieved that with this really cool design that like kind of comes down in a half circle, and you can just kind of see what they look like next to each other. They look so modern and I'm obsessed, and once I have all of this space, I'm going to do this to all of my canisters and they'll be lined up, and I literally just can't wait. So let's get into how I made it. I'm going to be using this black permanent smart vinyl and these clear pantry organizers. You could use any food storage of your choice. The first thing I want to do is make my design, so I'm going into the design space. I want it to be really unique, so instead of a square, I decided to use this elongated half circle shape. I made mine 5 inches tall and 3 inches wide. I want my letters to cut out of this shape and be clear, so I'm picking my favorite font and placing it on top. Then I'm using this slice option to cut the letters out. Then I have this shape to work with, and when I hit make it, I'm going to place both shapes sideways so I can save extra vinyl. Once I have the correct material selected, it is time to load my vinyl. I'm using this roll holder with my smart vinyl, which is great for long prints, but I'm going to use it anyway because it's super convenient. I click the load button to make sure it's ready to go, and then I click for it to start, and this machine cuts so fast this video is not even sped up. Once it's done, I cut the excess roll away using the roll holder. Then I'm using this weeding tool to remove any excess vinyl from the backing that I don't need, and I decided to use transfer tape for this, even though it's not entirely necessary, just because I don't want the shapes inside of the letters to be misplaced. I'm using my squeegee to do this, and I recommend flipping it over and squeegeeing the back as well because I think that it helps. Then I'm just applying my design to my glass jar, making sure that it's straight and removing the transfer tape. If you get any air bubbles, I recommend trying to poke them with this weeding tool and squeegeeing the air out. It really helps me. Then I'm left with these stunning containers for my pantry that I'm literally obsessed with, and don't worry, I cleaned them before putting any food in them, but I can't wait to have a bigger space so I can make a ton of these. I'm going to be following the same steps that I did for the previous project for this one. The second project that I'm going to do is for the bathroom, and again, have never had a big bathroom. I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over again, but I plan to like knock walls out and make a very large bathroom, and I'm really excited. So this is just kind of, obviously won't be up on my walls for a very long time, but I really love the idea of like a hotel type of feel in a bathroom, and these soap dispensers kind of give that to me. It's like really modern looking, and you can refill them, and that way you can get products that come in big containers and be like good for the planet and all that kind of stuff. So I had this idea to put these really modern little labels on each of the dispensers, and that way I can tell what's inside of them for when I'm refilling them and everything, and also just if I have guests over, they'll be able to tell what is what. And I love the idea of having something like this because then you won't have all of that clutter of the mismatching bottles everywhere. And I think it's something that a lot of people sleep on. So I'm really excited. Let's get into it. I'm using this permanent white smart vinyl and these really cool soap dispensers that I bought for the shower walls. For my design, I just want text this time, so I'm picking out my favorite font and setting their height to be a certain size that they all fit. Then I'm sending it to be made, making sure the settings are correct, and getting started with prepping my material. Once again, I'm using the roll holder for convenience and loading it into the machine, then sending my design to cut with the correct settings. This one was super fast because it's smaller. From there, I'm using my weeding tool to remove any excess vinyl, and I'm using transfer tape with my squeegee again for this project because it's a little bit intricate. I like to cut the words apart after I've put the transfer tape on to save time. Then I'm just applying the design with my squeegee, and I'm left with these labeled soap dispensers that almost look like they belong in a really funky hotel. And the last project that I'll be doing is this really cute little doormat that says hello. I think it's so fun. I have seen a lot of doormats that people have painted using stencils and stuff like that, but I got one that's a half circle because I think it's really cute, really unique, and I love the idea of the little orange hello. It's all the vibes. I love it so much, so let's get into it. I'm using this black smart vinyl and this half circle mat. You will also need some sort of outdoor paint that can withstand weather, and if you choose to, you can also use a sealant. I will be. I'm starting off in the design space, writing out the word hello in my favorite font and sizing it to a size that will fit on my mat. Then I'm clicking make it and choosing the right settings. Next, I'm setting up my smart vinyl with the roll holder, and for this one, it is totally necessary since it is a very long design. Then I just click for it to start and I watch the magic happen. Since this one is bigger, once it's done, I need to cut it before releasing the material from the machine. Then I'm using my weeding tool this time to remove the letters and not what is around them, so that way I have a stencil. I'm applying the vinyl like a sticker to my mat, and no transfer tape is needed because it's pretty big. Once I have it all on there, I'm using a paintbrush to apply my outdoor paint, and I recommend using downwards patting motions. I've just found that using a patting motion helps from the paint bleeding underneath the stencil. I really love this rust color. It's so subtle, but it's also really fun. Then I just remove my stencil and let the paint dry for a while before applying a sealant. And I'm left with this super fun doormat that will make anyone smile when they come over. So those are all of the projects that I made for today's video. I hope you guys loved it, and thank you again to Cricut for sponsoring this video. I am so excited, like I cannot even explain all of the different emotions that I'm feeling. It's going to be such a long process, but I feel like little things like this kind of can give you the vibe that I'm going for with my space, and I'm really excited to keep coming up with more ideas like these, whether they be small labels or other larger things for your spaces, and I think it's going to be a really good time. So I will see you guys all next week for some more design stuff. Bye guys. And for those of you who like really know me, don't worry, this is gluten-free flour. Gluten-free flour only.